So let's go ahead and get started. And we're very excited to have all of you. Hi, Christian. So we have not only our regular, this is a regular Friday meeting time that we do with our community of practice, but we have a lot of our partners that participated on the supply chain guidelines project that we're going to talk about today. And there's been a name change, we'll get to that. But before we get to that, let's do some introductions so that everybody knows who's here. Hi, Stacy. So what I'd love for you to do, we'll go around, I'll call on you, and love you to tell us your name, your company or college. And if you're in a company, tell us what your role is in the company and where you're located. So, and we can get that into the chat as well. But I'll go ahead and start. I'm Terry Quinzer, and now the Executive Director of the Bioscience Workforce Development Hub, hosted at Miracosta College in Oceanside, California. So Linnea, let's go to you next.
I'm Linnea Fletcher. I'm Department Chair of Biotechnology at Austin Community College, and I'm PI of Innovate Bio.
Great, and that is the National NSF Biotech Education Center. So we have people, we have the Innovate Bio Leadership Committee here and some of their National Advisory Council members, as well as a lot of representatives from industry around California. So this is a really great mix and session with all of you. Thank you for coming. Emily, let's go to you next.
Hi, I'm Emily Purchase. I currently work for CAI, which is a consulting firm. My role in that company is I am a quality, compliance, and regulatory consultant. And I'm working on two projects right now. One of them is the site expansion of Thermo Fisher in St. Louis. And then also I'm working on, there's a Sutro biotech company up north, and they are trying to get their Italian CMO up and running. So I've gone to Italy a couple times and I look forward to going back, but basically just ensuring that they're GMP ready to be able to start manufacturing. And I live in Orange County, Irvine, California.
Great, thank you, Emily.
Thanks.
And Ying-Su?
Hi, I'm Ying-Su Lo, Executive Director at Bay Area Bioscience Education Community and part of our cohort with Emily and Terry for this BioSCOPE 101 project. And also on the leadership team with Innovate Bio. And you can see that Linnea is here. And Terry, should I just put the announcements down on here, or are you going to get back to me?
I was going to get back to you when we finish the introductions.
Okay.
But don't let me forget.
Okay, I won't.
Thanks, Ying-Su. And Emily Kwok, let's hear from you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elmi Kwok, and I'm a faculty at Laney College located in Oakland, California. I teach Intro to Bio, Microbio, and also a little bit of biomanufacturing.
Thanks, Emily. Bruce, let's go to you next.
I'm Bruce Nash. I'm at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory in New York, and I'm part of the leadership of Innovate Bio in our genomics hub.
Thank you, Bruce. And Michael Fuller, let's go to you next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Fuller. I'm also on the leadership team for Innovate Bio. I'm a pathways lead at Baybeck. We're trying to work with high school students to get them into our community college programs. And I'm in a storage room right now, so I'm going to turn my video back off. Thanks, Terry.
Great. Thanks, Michael. And by the way, he hit on a really important point. It's so important for us to bring about awareness of biotech in the high schools and get those younger students into our pipelines so that we can get them into your companies and their jobs. So thanks, Michael. Lauren, let's go to you next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Shipp. I'm adjunct faculty at San Diego Miramar College, where I'm the director of the Amgen Biotech Experience, and I work with our supply chain experience programs in partnership with that. And I also help with teacher professional development for some of our other outreach. I'm also a biology subject matter educator at Biocom Institute and a lecturer at UC San Diego.
Great. Thank you so much, Lauren. Many hats. So, and a good partner on working both sides with Biocom and Miramar College. Adam, let's go to you next.
Hi, I'm Adam Talene. I'm a faculty at American River College in Sacramento. And I teach most of our biotech courses as well as microbiology and also coordinate our biotech program.
Great, thank you, Adam. The other thing I meant to ask too for the faculty, if and sorry for the, I think we're good, but if you have taught or used supply chain before in the way we use it for just with the students for the biomanufacturing piece. So if you have or have not used supply chain before. So Adam, I don't think you have, right?
No, but I'm in the process of looking into incorporating some of that stuff in my courses. So I'm actually excited to hear about the BioSCOPE 101 materials because I think that'll make my life easier while I do that.
Excellent. Thanks, Adam. Eduardo, let's go to you next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eduardo Ayala. I am the lead biotech faculty at El Camino College in Torrance, California, which is in Southern California, south of downtown LA. Our program is looking to launch in fall of 23, so we have not yet incorporated supply chain into our curriculum.
Thank you, Eduardo. And Karen Overcliff, let's go to you next. It's good to see you.
Good morning, everybody. This week I am representing Biocom California Institute, where I work with programs getting veterans interested in the life science industry, as well as a variety of different internship programs. And I am not directly involved with manufacturing, but contributing to a lot of efforts there at different colleges, as well as working on a program called Life Science Young Leaders, where we were actually doing sort of an internship in the classroom where high school students put together kits for the Amgen Foundation project as an internship project. So it covers the biomanufacturing space in that area.
Great, thank you, Karen. And Bryony.
Hey, Terry. So for my day job, I'm the director of BioRad's BioRad Explorer program, which develops kits to bring biotechnology education into high schools and colleges. On the side, I am a board member of BABEC. I am on the National Advisory Council and the National Visiting Committee for Innovate Bio. Maybe that's it. I'm sure there's other bits in there too, Terry, and I've been following BioSCOPE's development over the last gosh knows how many years. So I'm interested to see what you've made.
Right, thank you, Bryony. And just a shout out to you because in a way we're creating competitors for BioRad.
Oh, there was one other thing. That was it. I have worked in biomanufacturing in BioRad. I don't anymore. I'm on the business side. And from the competitive side, the goal of BioRad's program is to generate science literacy, and that's what your goal is. So, we do it in a different way, and hopefully some of your people would maybe come and work for us at some time too.
Well, that's what we're hoping for too. So thank you. And we're really glad that you do what you do. So thanks, Bryony. And Stacy, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you too. And nice to be here. I'm Stacy Malig. I work at Genentech as a supply chain professional. Is my functional focus.
Great, thank you. And we're hoping to get some feedback from you and others that have the industry side of experience to know if we're meeting your needs or if there's things we could change and improve. So thank you for being here. Rachel, let's go to you next.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel, and I'm a faculty member at Shoreline Community College, which is just outside of Seattle. And I teach microbiology, cell culture, and then principles of biomanufacturing and a bioreactors class. So we have not really done supply chain, though we've talked about it and thought through how we might be able to do that. So I'm excited to hear what we have to talk about today.
It's great. Thank you, Rachel. And your colleague, Jan Chalupny, presented last week on her biomanufacturing kit that she's developed under another NSF grant. And that's something, and also Bruce, who introduced himself earlier, has a phage project that are two other great projects that we want to expand and roll into our BioSCOPE 101. So thank you. Erica, let's go to you next.
Sorry, the cursor's a little erratic this morning. trying to unmute myself. My name is Erica Fong, and I'm with a company called Ambitech. We are also the makers of the Mini One products, which is a product that's been well adopted over the last few years in high school and community colleges to help students learn and investigate genetics. Yeah, we're a small company, so we don't have the same type of structure of functions. In some ways we do, but we're also very involved with each other's functions. So it's a great place to sort of get to know everything that can possibly get done in a company. So I'm here to provide whatever input I can and also probably learn from y'all too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Erica. Lori, let's go to you next. Lori Lindbergh.
Good morning, Lori Lindbergh. I am currently consulting with a number of projects. For many of you know me for my many years at California Life Sciences, which I'm still working with them on their racial and social equity initiative. Longtime partner with many of our academics here on the call, including Innovate, and a board member at BABEC, and a big fan of this project. I think it was actually your successor, Ying-Su, Joanna, that we first started talking about a supply chain course way back in the day. And it's just so exciting to see this really taking off. So happy to be here.
Great. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, we're excited too. It is taking off. Orlando, let's go to you next.
Hi, yeah, I'm Orlando. I also work at Shoreline with Rachel and teaching the biomanufacturing course, as well as some other bio courses. And I'm new this quarter, but not teaching anything in supply chain, but GMP is under the regulatory affairs module that I'm teaching. So really interested to hear more about this.
Great. Thank you, Orlando. And Isaac, good to see you.
Hi, Isaac Young with Sangamo Therapeutics. I'm in supply chain. Previously engaged, I think it was about a year ago, when we had a community college. We had to get together and talked about other opportunities in biotech besides being on the bench. So,
Great. Well, thank you. And Sweet.
Hi, my name is Sawit Nagash. I'm the lead biotech faculty at Los Angeles Harbor College. I teach biotech, chemistry, biochemistry, and I have not yet incorporated the supply chain topic into my modules. So I look forward to doing that.
Well, thank you. And we know that you're a collaborator on our NSF-ATE grant.
Yes.
The grant we just submitted earlier this month. So you will be.
I will soon.
Yeah. So thanks, Sweet.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Kat, let's go to you next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kat Lopez. I am part of Sangamo. I am new to Sangamo. I am also new in the biotech industry. And my role also for the company is new. I'm the senior program manager for DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. And Isaac pulled me into this. It sounds like a great opportunity where we can extend this to our workforce and how we can be involved. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn. So I thank you for pulling me in, Isaac.
That's great, Kat. And thank you for bringing up DEI. Congratulations on your new role. And that's definitely something that every college that we have, so there's 40 community colleges out of the 116 that have biotech programs, and every single college and community college in California is a minority serving institution. So there's a lot of opportunity to bring a lot of people into this industry, into these great jobs with upward mobility. So
absolutely, that's why when Isaac pulled me into it, and I was like, absolutely, this is in my, this is definitely in my area here. So thank you again.
Excellent, excellent. And another project that we're working on, I'm working with Linnea Fletcher on, is in addition to more of the traditional DEI groups that we serve, is also students with disabilities. And there's a whole range of disabilities. So we're working on a project for industry internships for these students with employment opportunities as well. So
Would love to learn more. Absolutely.
Great. Well, you'll hear more from me then. So great. I'm glad you're here. Andrea, let's go to you next.
I knew you were going to call me right as I was stepping up. Hi, my name is Andrea. I am an assistant professor at Santa Monica College, which is on the west side of Los Angeles. And I'm also the program lead for the biotechnology program that we will be starting in 2023. And I'm so happy to hear some of the introductions that were mentioning and emphasizing your roles in DEI and social justice, because our program is really aligning and trying to recruit students from traditionally untapped pools of talent and often not represented in the biotech and life science spaces. So I'm so excited to hear that there's companies and individuals that are in these companies that are really championing diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as Terry mentioned, also considering accessibility. So thank you. I'm happy to hear more about what's happening with the supply chain information.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. Christian, let's go to you next.
Hi, everyone. Christian Moreno. I work for Behringer Ingelheim at the biotech manufacturing facility in Fremont, California, up in Northern California. I have functional responsibility over supply chain, including planning, systems, and warehousing.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us. Michelle, let's go to you next. Michelle Stever.
Sorry. Good morning, Michelle Stever. I'm a professor of biology over at Cerritos College, which is in Los Angeles County. And we are launching our program, our biotech program, which is just approved with LARC next year, 2023. And I'm looking forward to hearing about the supply chain curriculum today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
That's an exciting milestone. Deborah, let's go to you next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'll be getting in my car soon, so I'm just in transition here. But Deborah Shepard with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. Like Karen Overclift, I'm working with students of various ages, mostly from high school up, to help them explore the various careers in the life sciences. And we look for things that they may not have thought of. So supply chain is definitely something of interest that eventually I'd like to present to the groups that we're working with. Hopefully some of the employers will be interested in talking with the students, and we are bringing in the community colleges to the programs to speak to the students about what's next, because one of our programs is with seniors only in a very diverse neighborhood of South LA. So we too, all of our grants focus on building diversity and equity in the underrepresented areas of our ecosystem, with obviously life science, biotech being one of them. And I've mentioned before that we have a Women in Manufacturing, which includes biomanufacturing grant from the Irvine Foundation. And we are looking for your potential candidates that just don't know exactly what they want, but you might want to get them channeled into biomanufacturing. And if you do, please, if you have such folks that could be candidates for this training, it's a short-term training program, please send them our way. They just need to be 18 or over and live in LA County.
Great, thank you. So good opportunity for your students, those of you in LA. Josie, let's go to you next.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Josie Sete, and I work with Terry and her team. I'm located here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm also a member of the BayBack board.
Thank you, Josie. And Spiros, let's go to you.
I'm Spiros Dimitratos. I teach biotechnology at Fullerton College in Orange County.
Thank you, Spiros. I think I got everybody. Did I miss anybody? Did anybody not get home? All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ying Su, for your with an announcement.
Yes, so I am part of the leadership team at Innovate Bio, and things are shaking up to be pretty busy for us, right, Linnea and Michael? So just the announcements that I have here, just click on this Google announcement thingy here. The major thing that I want to announce is that we are having a biotech summit next June. And what we're looking at is having students and student posters for that summit. So we want to ask you to start thinking about who would be a good representative of your program, of your students. So think about any kind of projects that they're working on and research projects, internship projects that would be appropriate for this summit. We're looking at getting funding for them to travel as well as their stay and for this event. It will be in Washington, D.C. At the end of June. So it should be after classes are done. So you
And the
can
posters could be 1 to 2 years old.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that they're working on a project right now. It could be that we're targeting probably about 50. I hope you don't mind me jumping in.
Go ahead.
50 students, and we want them to attend, especially the first day, because that will be part of the vision portion of the conference, the vision speakers. It will be all day. We will feed everybody lunch, reception, and dinner. Most likely we'll be looking at the posters during breaks and the reception. And we're trying to bring in fairly high-level people in industry, governmental agencies, and also in the area of workforce education. And we just thought the best way for industry to know how good our programs are is to highlight what they do.
And we'll give out more information as time goes on. We are still in a very beginning stages of planning. And this information just is hot off the press because we had just discussed it yesterday at our meeting.
And we felt like bringing the students was important.
Yeah, could I also do a little plug here?
Of course.
Go ahead.
With this national summit, I think you may recall, some of you may recall, we do a national workforce trends report with other states across the country, other trade associations, and we're gearing up to do that again. And we kind of at the last minute in 2018 asked for some of you to potentially tap some of the employers that you have really positive relationships with. I know some of you are very nascent programs, but others of you have probably been working steadily with some employers in your region who could provide those testimonials and best practices. We want industry to tell industry how incredibly important community colleges are for developing the talent pipeline. So we're going to reach out to you earlier rather than later to try to highlight some of those special relationships. End of commercial.
Thank you, Lori. And by the way, we have a lot of folks from industry on here now. So
yeah, and so if industry is interested in coming too, we would love to have them. And the other thing we're going to do is an alumni panel, because, many of our programs have been in existence for over 25 years. And our alumni may start as technicians, but they end up in a variety of positions. They could even be CEOs. And so we want people to realize that our students, this is a career pathway. It's not a dead end.
Exactly.
And so I just want to continue with announcements because we are close to 11:30. So there is a national rollout of BioSCOPE 101 on November 18th if you want to see this again. So if you do, you can sign up, and it's right there in the Google Drive link. And finally, for those that are attending the ATEPI meeting next week, we are having a California contingent and friends, because I've already invited someone from Chicago to be in this group. We're going to get together Wednesday evening at the Omni Lounge or wherever we deem appropriate, because I know there's some faculty that are bringing their students and want to be with their students. Maybe it'll be with the student posters. So let's get together and see each other in person. So that's end of my announcements so that we can go on to show you BioSCOPE 101.
Great. Thank you so much, Ying-Su and Linnea and Lori. And one last thing, I just want to do a shout out or make a comment. So I serve on a lot of your advisory boards, and I was on an advisory board meeting this morning. And there's nothing that warms my heart more than showing up at your advisory board meetings and seeing industry people on your advisory boards that you found here at our meetings. So, you know, it's a great opportunity. And I hope those of you here in industry don't mind me saying this, because I know you get tapped out. And we appreciate that and want to be mindful of that as well. But we so appreciate your participation in our advisory boards, because that's what helps us, and you being here today, because that's what helps us help get our students trained so that they can go into your companies ready to work and help you as best as we can do. So we're helping to build your workforce, and we really appreciate your participation in that. So thank you for being here. And with that, I'm going to, Ying-Su and Emily and myself are going to talk to you about the supply chain guidelines, which will reveal the new name of it. You've probably seen it. So yeah, thank you, Emily, for sharing your screen. And let's just go ahead and lead into this now. As I mentioned, this has been a project. The leads of the project are myself and Ying-Su and Emily Kwok. So go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So we've changed the name. Many of you were on our calls and have been participating all along, gave us really great input and feedback to what we were doing and what we needed to do. Worked on a task force to help actually roll up your sleeves with us and go through getting standard operating procedures and such. And then actually Emily has done all the work to put it all together. We've worked on it together, but she's done the real heavy lift on that. And so, so the supply chain guidelines project is what we're now calling BioSCOPE 101. And BioSCOPE is an acronym from Biomanufacturing Supply Chain Operations Projects for Education. So go ahead and go to the next slide. So what we're looking at is doing a couple of things. And I want to point out that we're fully aware that this is really the biomanufacturing or manufacturing part of a supply chain operation is just one small part of the supply chain operation. It's not the whole thing. And we're fully aware of that. And the other thing too that I want to point out is, well, for this project and these education projects, we're really focusing in the biomanufacturing space. And we've just submitted an NSF ATE proposal for the next stage of the BioSCOPE project, and that is to get this into more colleges, at least 10 more colleges in California. And as part of that too is we're offering training that basically introduces the full supply chain operations. And I know we have supply chain experts here right now in this meeting. And so we are fully aware that there are so many employment opportunities, and we look at that as opportunities for our students to see other aspects of a supply chain where they could find a niche for themselves and work in that. So I wanted to make that clear that we're focusing in this small biomanufacturing space within that, because these make really great training projects for our students that can help prepare them for jobs as manufacturing technicians and others. So, so in the sense that we're referring to supply chain and using this is we're looking at having our students transform raw materials into biotech related products that, as we mentioned earlier, can be used by high school classes and high school students. And it's a good way to build our pipeline of students and introduce students in the high schools to what the community college programs offer. Next slide. So there's another supply chain here too. If you think about the simplest definition of a supply chain as transforming raw materials into a finished product, we're transforming students that have little or no skills into an industry-ready and employable workforce. So we're providing them with the technical skills and also the professional or soft skills. Next slide. So BioSCOPE 101 has become a resource to help faculty implement supply chain biomanufacturing projects in their classes. And something I want to point out is it doesn't necessarily add extra work to your load. It's something that can easily be used with classes that you're already teaching. It's just a shift in mindset and how these are taught, these projects are taught. So the BioSCOPE 101 provides a roadmap for faculty to be able to implement the supply chain projects in their courses. And it includes a template documents that'll help you adapt your own or other standard operating procedures. Plus we have some batch records, skills matrices, and ultimately it'll allow you to provide employable technical and professional skills to train your students. Next slide. So we started this project, we gathered stakeholders so that we could get input for the BioSCOPE 101. And our community of practice consisted of biotech faculty who are teaching the students, of industry representatives that are here today, and our customers. So those would be high schools and others that would be using the products that our students produce. Next slide. And so we just want to acknowledge our members and those who have contributed to this project, because your input has been invaluable. And so go ahead to the next slide. I'd like to turn it over to Ying Su.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Thanks, Terry. So just a little bit of a background on BioSCOPE 101. And I just wanted to also give you a little bit of idea of, Terry, Emily, and I are also part of the supply chain biomanufacturing hub with Innovate Bio. So we're calling our little group in our little handbook called BioSCOPE 101. If you have a supply chain project and you are making something, manufacturing something, you can be part of our hub as well, because you're going to serve as a resource for others. So I know Aaron Kamajaya is not here, but he has a TAC polymerase supply chain project going on. So he'd be a great resource for making TAC polymerase. So we're hoping that he can also join our hub if he's interested and contribute to the BioSCOPE 101 handbook as well. So we are still collecting supply chain projects, and it's going to be iterative. So this is not the final handbook. I don't think anything's final when you're teaching anyway. So we want to collect as much information so it's useful for faculty. So just coming back to BioSCOPE 101. So this is a collection that was taken from your feedback, the community of practice feedback from industry and from faculty, from trade organizations. And so we have also determined from our background with working with Laney College and Skyline Colleges specifically in our BioSCOPE project, is that there's certain things that we need to consider to make this project successful. And it's just for you to think about. I hope it doesn't deter you from doing this project. It's just something to think about. And as the years go by, if you're iterating on the supply chain projects. So the number one thing that you want to think about, because you are manufacturing a product, is your customer. Who is going to be your customer? And we are very flexible about this. It could be your another program in your college. It could be a high school customer. It could be a nonprofit like BABEC. Just so consider who your customers will be. Consider also whether your facilities are adequate to do this project. If it's going to be implemented as a course, and we hope that it'll be implemented as part of your course, because it makes it so it has equal access for all your students for this. Although having a club access is also interesting, because it allows students to repeat these exercises. what we found with the BioSCOPE project in Northern California is that we need student coordinators. They're the ones helping faculty put all this together with getting volunteers or doing some of the supply chain management that has to be done, like inventory management or logistics, coordination with the customers, having meetings, holding meetings that's regional, things like that. And then finally, funding. So the reason we say implementation in your courses is great because you already have funding for your courses, basically. So in order to get access to BioSCOPE 101, we do need to do some grant reporting. So we have implemented this pre-survey in order for us to collect some data from you. And then Emily is going to talk a little bit more about getting access. So you will get access as a student first, and then we can switch you to access as an instructor, which is kind of a neat thing with Canvas. So I'll end here, and Emily Kwok will take it away and show you all the nuts and bolts about this. Oh, and then I forgot, if you have questions, please speak up, and then we can answer and pause for a little bit to answer any questions.
Well, if there are no other questions, I can continue, but you can always ask questions during the presentation part here. So for getting access to BioSCOPE 101, everything is accessible through like Google Drive or Canvas. I'll be showing you how to get access to Canvas, which later on you can switch it to your Google Drive format. So first you just go on to this website. Everything is housed on BABEC's website currently. And I'm actually going to be showing you the workflow of how this goes. So I'm just going to actually exit out of here and show you what happens or how to get access to this. So if you just were to Google BABEC website, you'll come to their homepage, and under projects, you can go under NSF, and then you'd click on the Innovate Bio sticker. And from there, you'd click on Supply Chain Biomanufacturing Hub. And from there, we have introduction information about biomanufacturing and how to implement it, and what are the 7 projects that we're showing on Canvas. So it includes aliquoting, Loria broth plates, agarose gels, PCR, bacteria transformation, protein purification, and histology slides. So all these SOPs were collected from our community of practice. And what I just did was move everything onto an SOP template and also provided a batch record along with that. Here, earlier Yingsu was talking about things to think about like facilities, having a student coordinator, incorporating quality, having a customer. You can use this planning guide questions to help you walk you through to see if supply chain fits your class model. And also we also have a, she's referring to a process decision program chart. And here it's another walkthrough to help you see what other resources you would need to complete this project. You can always like zoom into this image here, as it might be a little bit small to see as I'm sharing the screen. But to get access to the Canvas website, you click on the pre-survey to access BioSCOPE 101, and then you'll be brought to a pre-survey question, as we do need this to collect data for our grant. I've pre-filled this survey, so I'm just gonna hit enter. And once you hit submit, you'll see the link to the Canvas website. So a lot of times you can use your institutional email to get access to this, or you can create a free teacher account for anyone that's not really associated with Canvas yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the website. And at this point, after you enter all your information, you'll be given a student account. And if you'd like to switch to a teacher account, we just ask that you email me and I can just do that quick switch right away. So once you're in Canvas, you'll see the logo for BioSCOPE 101, and you can go ahead and click on that. And all the 7 projects are housed here within each of the different modules. In the beginning, we have introduction PowerPoint slides, help you guide you and your students to what is BioSCOPE. It's creating the raw materials to a product, which eventually can be given to other students. I've spoken to Adam from Sacramento American River College before, and he actually does the supply chain project, but he doesn't know it. in his class, he told me that he manufactures his Loria broth plates, and then the students then use it in their classes. So that I was thinking like that is supply chain right away. So you can use these Google documents, Google Slides here. And once you click on it, it can't be edited right away. So as instructor, I know everyone likes to edit their own slides to their own liking. So if you just click on this bottom button right here for Google Slides, you can go ahead and make a copy of it, and then you can use it, change it up, and then put it back into Canvas for your likings. So to figure out what project you would like to start off with is first, I would click on the skills matrix. So through the community of practice, we're able to come up with different technical skills, qualities, digital sorted or safety, job search. And we basically took each project we took 7 of our projects, and we decided this skill fitted this project. So if in particular you're looking for lab math, you can go ahead and see that most of our projects, you would incorporate math into that. So to pick a project, I would start to use the skills matrix, and then you can go ahead and go back to the Canvas site and then click on the different projects. So at Laney College and Skyline College, we like to make a lot of Loria broth for our customer. And each of the projects will include a PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint is an overview of what you would do to create the product. So first, we do incorporate like an overview process map or flow chart to help you see the different steps I'll take you through. And then we have the learning objectives, and also we took the skills from the skills matrix. So just so that your students would know, these are the skills that you'll be learning. So if they go for a job interview, for example, they can refer back to these skills and then also talk about it, and also talk about their experience when they do or perform the project. And this PowerPoint also gives you the process map or a flow chart for making the specific, for the particular experiment or making antibiotics. For this is an example. And it also links you to the SOPs and the SDS safety data sheets here. So this is one of the ways to get to the SOPs. Another way to get to the SOPs would be to go back to the modules, and the links here would be for that. So you can just click on this top button right here, and then you can go ahead and make a copy and edit to your liking or add it to your own Canvas site. What's really cool is that everything is accessible through Google, so it makes editing really easy. And along with the main starter presentation, the SOP, we also have batch records. So here we have an example template of the batch record, and each of the batch records holds all the different guidelines for each project. So for example, in our projects for aliquoting, we have the batch records for aliquoting, buffer prep, CaCl2 prep, and also making Helix. So this is very, there are very few guidelines that say here. So I'm really interested in incorporating more projects. So if you guys would like to add any more projects, please let me know, and I can expand our BioSCOPE 101. So as instructors, I do have all these instructions in our Google Slides that was presented earlier, but just a quick update on if you would like to be switched to teacher access, this will allow you to take the entire module and copy it into your module, or you can download the package and then upload it onto your own Canvas class. Okay. With that, do we have any questions?
You did a lot of SOPs, Emily.
It was all thank you to everyone who, from the community of practice, I just switched it into a format.
So you can see there was a lot there, and it's a lot to go through and look through and see what's there. We are going to do workshops to help you be able to access this, and I'm sure you're going to have questions. But and we are looking for more projects as well to add to these, as well as case studies. Case studies are really helpful for the students to go through, and especially for the professional skills, the soft skills, to find out, figure out how would they handle different situations. I know it came up this morning on the advisory board meeting that Emily Purchase was on, that the writing and documentation and some of the problems. I mean, that alone, just communication and how to write emails and how to communicate situations, and not a couple sentences where you need to call the person back in to find out what they meant, but to really clearly explain what happened. I mean, a lot of these kind of things we address, but we're looking for case studies as well to help us give you in the classroom things to talk about with your students, and assess how would you handle it. And you can do CAPAs on those, and figure out how you would solve those issues.
Well, as someone that's not part of the community college system, how do I gain access to all this information you have so I can provide some meaningful feedback on it? Do I need a Canvas account? Is that correct?
So any person with an email access, you can access Canvas. So you can just sign up using free Canvas in Structure.
Okay.
Yeah. Ying, so you put a link in the chat for Canvas. Did I see that? Yeah, there's I'll repost it, the link, and then anybody can set up a Canvas account. So this is, and another point to those Canvas account, even for the faculty, if you move around to another college, you have to leave your email address and Canvas account that's linked to that email address at the college you left. So you can set up your own personal Canvas account, and that stays with you. So you wouldn't lose it if you move around. And that's always a good idea. And if you're not associated with a college, the link that I just posted from Ying Su is the link to set up Canvas. Rachel, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I did. Thank you so much. That was awesome. I'm really excited about this. So I apologize. I missed the first part where you said how to find it. So I know you said you went to the Bayback site, but where exactly on there? How do you get there?
I will put in the link in the chat.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said too, we are going to schedule some workshops to go through this more slowly, one by one, each step. The other thing, I wanted to make a comment about the skills matrix, and that is what we discovered with all of the SOPs that were coming in and the projects that faculty were submitting to us, is that there's quite a bit of skills and they fall under multiple categories. So rather than just having a big list of skills, we grouped and we categorized the skills. So Emily, I don't know if you want to go back to that screen, if you want to share your computer again and go back to the skills matrix. Let's go back there for a second. And so we put this into a spreadsheet. And so if you look across the bottom, there's several tabs. And this was how we sorted the skills. We kind of grouped them in what seemed to be a logical grouping. And then, so across the top of this page, so these are the technical skills. That's the tab that Emily's showing right now. And across the top, those are each of the 7 projects that we have, supply chain projects at this point. And so for each project, so each column is a project. And for each column, for each project, if you read down the column, what's checked are the skills that are taught in that by doing that project. And so where the skills matrix can be helpful is for faculty, you may be looking to teach certain skills, and you might want to find some kind of, a project that you can use that is going to address those skills. And so these are just the technical skills. You can click on like the quality sorted. So for each of the projects, these would be the quality skills that are addressed by the project. And these are, by all means can be, we would love your feedback, especially those of you in industry, if you have time to look at this and see if these make sense. And if there's skills that you see that are missing, that you don't see here, that you think should be covered, that maybe we just didn't list them here, maybe we cover them and we don't list them, or maybe we're missing them altogether. It would be really helpful to know if we could add, if there's skills here that we should be mindful of to include. There's the EB sorted, that's the employability. Those are employability skills. We've been calling them employable behaviors, but they're really soft skills. And so, and maybe we need to name the tabs so that they're more clear, easy to understand. But these are the soft skills that we know that are being addressed by these. And again, if you see skills missing, and as we add more projects to this too, they're going to have all their skills associated with them as well. So we want to be able to capture and record what skills are being taught and see the gaps that way too. So we know what we need to add and things we need to include here. So this is a working document. It's definitely not set in stone. In that this is exactly what it is and will always be, and there's always room for improvement. So we're looking for that, and again, we're looking for opportunities to be able to incorporate skills that we can train students for that you are looking for in industry. So I just wanted to drill into that a little bit. Are there any other questions or comments? I know I see, let's see. So Lauren, I'm gonna call you out because I know you work with the Amgen Biotech experience, and which, by the way, I just want to make a comment that I know for some, it seems like there's a lot of different projects that, what's the difference between Amgen Biotech experience and supply chain manufacturing and other projects with different names. And really there's no difference. It's all the same thing in that products are being manufactured in the lab that are getting used in other labs by other students. And I would say the difference is that with Amgen Biotech experience, in some cases, there's a distribution site that makes that manufactures their own lab kits. And in other distribution sites, they have college students, and in some cases, even high school students manufacture those lab kits. But Lauren, I was going to ask you, I'd love to hear, if you have any thoughts or comments given your experience, because you do run a distribution site for the Amgen Biotech experience, and you have worked with students to make those reagents.
Yeah, are you wanting thoughts or comments on the matrix or on the resources in general?
Yeah, in general.
This all looks very helpful, and like I'm especially appreciative of how well organized this is, because I can say, like, running the Amgen site and producing all the materials, like juggling the SOPs and like getting the students to follow them and follow the documentation and everything. I like the way all of this is laid out. Can I ask though, I don't know if I'm the only one still struggling with this, but like I'm familiar with Canvas, I'm on Canvas, but I'm not getting how to actually locate the resources once on there.
So to get access to the resource, you'd have to go through the pre-survey located on the BayBEC website.
Got it. I missed that completely. Okay, thank you.
There, copy the link over and then you can add it to your Canvas site.
Okay, thank you.
Right, and that link is on the pre-survey because we need that information. And so it instead of, it's easy to say, yeah, I'll do a survey and then forget to do it. But this forces you to do that, and it helps us out as well. I'd love to hear from some of you in industry. I know this has been sort of a whirlwind tour of the guidelines of the BioSCOPE 101. And I know it probably would be better for you to be able to have a look at it to give us feedback. But is there anything that stands out to you, or any thoughts or comments from the industry side?
Well, I'm looking forward to working with you in broadening the scope. I appreciate that you're still focusing on manufacturing skill sets around supply chain, but looking forward to broadening the other aspects of supply chain, whether it's planning, whether it's logistics. So I think there's a lot to add on to this. I'll look through the information you have on Canvas and look forward to some of the other meetings.
That's great, Isaac, and we're excited about that too. We're working with the CSCMP organization. They have a professional supply chain management online course, and that's kind of been our starting point, because there's a grant that's allowing us to have faculty start there and take that training at no cost to us. So it's a free training for faculty, and so we're hoping that that's a good launching point, a good point to get it started. But we do need to develop, and we do need to do work on expanding out how to incorporate that into the curricula that the faculty are teaching, so that the students get access as well. Because, to your point, yeah, there's a lot of high-paying jobs in supply chain operations, and those are really great pathways for students. And this could be an entry point to give students mobility in different areas. Not all of our students are going to want to continue to work at the bench. So there's a lot of other opportunities for them. So we definitely want to explore that with you.
And it's not necessarily removed from the science. At least in much of biotech, there's an enormous amount of tech transfer going on. So you can be as close to the science as you want to be, but you're facilitating, you're orchestrating the rest of the cycle of developing a product, getting it to market, making sure you can sustain it in the market, that it's compliant in all the other markets you want to sell it into. So there's lots there, and love to work with your students on getting them prepared for that.
That would be great, because there's so much opportunity for students, and those are really exciting jobs, and especially to support this, and given the past 2.5, 3 years now almost, with the pandemic and the vaccines and the supply chain issues that resulted from the pandemic and are still going on. Students are now hearing those. They're hearing about biotech, and they're hearing about supply chain. And so there's a familiarity with that. And I think that, and an awareness at some level that we need to expand on.
Perhaps some day in the life seminars where you could bring in people from different roles in biotech that just come in and talk about what do they do each day. Preferably without all the profanity, but just all the challenges that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, but what it means to the overall process. And that might give them an idea of everything that's involved, and give them a broader opportunity to find that entry point into the industry.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know Deborah Shepard has done some such seminars with the high school students in LA County. The day in the life, where she's brought people in. And now with everything's virtual, you don't have to be local necessarily to participate in those kinds of webinars. And Stacy, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you. I actually would echo everything that Isaac said because I'm, my functional expertise is in the supply chain space rather than manufacturing space. So I'm happy to help out expanding curriculum, as well as helping make connections within Genentech for more direct functional expertise, if that would be of assistance. So, feel free to reach out to me if that would be helpful. In terms of the curriculum, one thing I had, 30 seconds to look at the list of skills there. So this is, but one thing that does come to mind, just in our industry, we think more and more about automation and digitalization. And so all these things listed here are absolutely, to get you close to the door and potentially into the door. But our industry is moving more and more towards automation. And so the more it's definitely a relevant, skill that we consider now, to be able to work through data analytics, automation, different automation capabilities, et cetera. And I'm happy to talk further about that in more detail if it would be helpful separately at any time.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you for your offer, and we will take you up on it. Because we definitely want to stay, in front of where the trends are, where the jobs are. So thank you, Stacy.
Yep.
So also, I see we're at the top of the hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and I realize we could have used a lot more time because there's a lot of good discussion, and what this may lead to a follow-up. And I think for those of you, especially in industry and that have been part of the community of practice in helping us develop this and others, I think we need to get you, access to the skills matrices, and if you're willing to go through and get into the BioSCOPE 101 the way it's set up, that would be great because you could see it in a sense as a user. But some of the aspects of it, for you to be able to look at, it does have all the SOPs and the skills and everything that you could assess. But I'm also happy to send those out to you so that you could look at that if it's easier, if it makes it easier, to be able to look at those skills separately.
Yeah, I think we can share with you the Google's docs rather than having you go into Canvas and all that kind of stuff. And then you can also comment on it.
Yeah, so I guess there's two purposes going on here. So for the faculty that are going to be using it, as the end users that are going to be creating these projects with their students, then we need them to go through what Emily showed us so that they can access it that way and we can collect some information from them. But for our industry partners, we really would like for you to be able to look at it and give us your feedback on what we've developed and what's good, what's not good, or what could be improved, and what's missing. So so we'll go ahead and give you that access. So with that, I just want to thank everybody for being here and for participating, and we're really excited to roll this out. And as I mentioned, we've basically submitted a proposal to NSF ATE, which is Advanced Technical Education, the Advanced Technical Education Division, for funding so that we could get this into more colleges and get everybody doing this, especially with the White House executive order to increase biotech and biomanufacturing. And the Schmidt Futures Report predicts a $30 trillion bioeconomy. So biomanufacturing is right at the center of all of that. And so we want to get the right skills into our students' hands so that they can get good jobs. So
thank you.
Thank you all for being here, and we will do some follow-up with you.
Bye.